Good morning. I hereby call to order the July 17th, 2025 public hearing of the City of Prescott Board of Adjustments. Board members present are, please state your name.
Mary Fredrickson.
Mark Hopkins.
Tom Davis.
Miriam Haubrick.
Rick Kimmery.
Tony Teeters. This is a public hearing and is being recorded by the city. The proceedings are being televised by representatives of public media. The public, local cable and/or radio stations may also be rebroadcast. The number of members present is 6. It will require 4 votes for a majority. Members of the public are required to state their name for the record so that we may know who is speaking and be able to contact them at a later date if necessary. And please turn off all your electronic devices. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance at this time.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We also have Ted Gamboges, councilman, present. Welcome, Ted.
Good morning, everybody.
We need to look at the minutes from the last meeting for approval.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mark Hopkins here. I move to approve the minutes of June, get the date here,
June 19th.
19th of 2025.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second the motion.
We have a second. Any further comments? Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries 6-0. Okay, you're up.
All right. Good morning, Chairman, board members. Kaylee Nunez, Community Planner. Today, I'm going to be presenting a request for a height variance for construction of a new garage at 5750 Symphony Drive. Oh, yes, that is correct. There's a lot of text here, but you really just want to focus on the first sentence. So, request is to allow for an increase in height from the maximum allowed height for accessory structures from 20 feet to 27 foot 3 inches in certain areas for construction of a new garage, detached garage. So here is a zoning map. It is located in the northern section of Pinion Oak subdivision, just 3 lots in from Pioneer Parkway. And it is all, it's surrounded by a sea of single-family 18 zoning. Here is an aerial map, aerial imagery rather. And here is the site plan provided for the proposed garage, so it meets all required setback and is roughly, the front is even with the. So here are the elevations. I pulled dimensions on them. So the west elevation, ooh, I always struggle with this. So this is the front of the garage. So the front of the garage is 22, but then this is eastern elevation. The back portion of it is 27. 27 feet 3 inches. So here are some photos of the property, the front yard where we posted the notice, and then that's going to be where the garage is constructed. Other view of the project area, I guess we'd be looking southwest. It's going to be right there. And then this is the property line of the neighbor to the east. There's a lot of mature trees there. So there are 6 criteria we review these requests against per the Land Development Code. And those, the detailed analysis was in the staff report. So I did do, I researched records and didn't find any other relevant variances applied for within the neighborhood. Past variances, rather. So we did the neighborhood outreach per state statutes. We sent the mailings, posted the properties, and published a notice in the local paper. And so here we are at the action. I'm open for questions and comments, and I believe we have the homeowner in the audience. Yes. I don't know if the contractor is here, but, oh, he's over in the right-hand corner. So I'll open it up to the board for discussion.
Mr. Chair, Marco, this year I have a question for staff.
Yes.
The picture that you had that showed the dirt, is that a dirt road or is that a dirt driveway?
That's on their private property, so a driveway.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Mary Frederickson. Kaylee, just to confirm, the 27 feet that you mentioned on the, essentially the rear of this proposed garage, that would be from the natural grade. So the height of the actual building is the same front to back.
That is correct. Yeah, for residential, we pull our measurements from natural grade. And I could let the contractor clarify that, but I think he's going to be filling up to this point, or maybe not.
No, that's, we're actually not going to change natural.
You okay?
That's the, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so
Please,
we don't
please
plan-
state your name, please.
Yeah, my name is Nick, Bighorn Construction Development. The rear of the property obviously has some pretty steep topography, so that's how we couldn't get around this height difference unless we, change the roof line. The rear, actually, we're not filling natural grade, we're not bringing the grade up. There's no pad being built. It's a retaining stem wall for the building. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
Any further questions?
Mary Frederickson again. And I guess I couldn't quite tell from the packet. Is the roof line of the proposed garage essentially at the same level as the roof line of the house? The current house it sits?
We don't do that kind of modeling, like with our plans. I could have, perhaps the contractor answer that. I would have had to get the original home plans, which we don't have on record anymore. So
I guess just trying to get
you
a
see,
sense
like
of-
there is a slope down here, so that will help it to be more even, if you will. But we don't have elevations relative to the principal structure.
I guess I'm just trying to get a sense of, considering the aesthetic issues that maybe some opposition might have, as to whether or not the proposed garage will look essentially the same site-wise to the house. And maybe same kind of question, I couldn't really tell when I did a drive-by how tall those trees are. I'm terrible at estimating whether or not aesthetically viewed from the street, the trees, the detached garage, and the house are all kind of at the same height visually from the street. And I don't know, maybe the contractor could say?
Contractor or homeowner?
Hey, so we don't have a measurement on that current peak height of the house, but I believe it is pretty close to what the proposed garage is when we've looked at it. And then those trees on the left side, they'll probably cover most of the sidewall of the whole garage. They're pretty tall over that side. They're, what do you say, probably 12, 16 feet almost. They're pretty tall, mature trees over there on the left.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Mr. Chair, Mark Hogness again. Staff, the requested variance is for 7 feet 3 inches. Did I get that right?
That is correct for the rear portion of the garage. So again, here's the elevation. So this is like the eastern elevation, like if you're standing where the trees are, facing the side of it. So
All
that
right.
would be from the back. Front.
Thank you.
Do we have any other comments? Now, let's hear from the individuals.
I only received one speaker card. If there are any more, feel free to bring them up. First speaker will be Tony Parancino. Parancino.
I apologize for the notes. I'm not a public speaker by any stretch. My wife and I own the property directly across the street from the Mounts residence. They've been good neighbors for the past year. I have no ill will towards them, and my only concern lies with the effects of the proposed garage. With that being said, I'm not a fan of telling others what they can or can't do with their property. However, when it affects me, I have to speak up. We all agreed to certain rules and guidelines when we bought our properties. While I have no concern with the height of the rear, I am concerned about the front. Any increase over the allowable 20 feet will have an impact on my views and therefore will negatively impact my property value. In addition to that, a structure of that size will certainly look out of place, as it will be among the first few things you see as you enter our development. Thus, in my opinion, impacting everyone's property value. At the proposed height, it will be considerably taller than their house. I don't have true measurements, but I do know the original builder, and it's estimated that this will be like 3 to 4 feet above the roof line. It simply doesn't fit. Perhaps lowering the grade in that area can be an easy solution, not unlike what I and many others have done for our additions. Lowering the roof line can also be an option. Also, there are currently quite a few RV garages in our development. Many are even under 20 feet, so it can be done. Over the 22 years that my wife and I have owned up our home, we watched many of our views disappear. We used to be able to see Thumb Butte. We had views of Granite Mountain. Heck, we used to be able to watch Chino Valley, Prescott Valley, and Prescott's 4th of July fireworks simultaneously. All are gone forever. We won't get any of that back. Now, while I'm fortunate that our property has increased in value since we bought it, I often wonder what it could be worth if we still had those views. Over the past 22 years, I've watched neighbors come and go. This garage will be here longer than many of us present. And once it is built, I will be forced to look at it for my remaining time, and its effect will be locked in forever. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all.
Did we have any questions for the owners? Did we need to bring them up? Does anybody have questions for them?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of questions just for clarification. Maybe the contractor can answer this. Is there a homeowners association here, and was there an architectural review of this property?
I mean, I could answer that. They
Yes.
don't have an active HOA.
They don't have an
Opinion
HOA.
Oaks,
Okay,
no.
that's good to know.
It's not.
And
It's defunct.
can you explain to us why you need that additional few feet for the garage?
Yes, sir. So, could I just make a quick point first? The front of the garage is 21 feet 10 to the ridge, and that's what we proposed. Which actually, if we didn't have this topography issue in the back, would fall under an administrative adjustment. Correct, Kaylee? Which would
Yeah,
be
you
allowed
can do
without
up to a
variance?
10% adjustment on height or setback via an
Okay.
administrative adjustment.
Right. So that would obviously be allowed without this type of variance had we not had the rear issue. So I don't think the front is really the problem. The height is somewhat necessary. I mean, we're pretty low on the pitch of the roof, and in order to fit this size garage door, which is the customer's request, that's pretty much the lowest we can make it in the front, unless he drops his driveway significantly down, and it obviously is then lower than the house. But if this were to be attached to the house, for instance, the height requirement obviously then is 35 feet, right, to be below.
Yes, yeah, once it's
So-
attached, it's under the residential.
That's obviously
Right.
another possibility. We didn't choose to go that route, but that would obviously meet the requirement if it were attached. So I mean, it's not like this kind of thing is not allowed. We're trying to be mindful of the height in the front first and foremost, which we're as mindful as we can be with that height, and then the rear is what it is with the roof line, because the lot just drops off, and all those houses are pretty really tall in the back there where that wash is. So, yeah.
Mr. Chair, I have an additional question, Mark Hopkins. How tall is the garage door from foundation or pad to the top?
What is that height, Scott? 14. It's a 14-foot door.
And what's the reason for all the space above the? If it's an RV garage, the door's 14 feet. What's all the other space for?
Correct. I mean, you got to have enough room for a structural header in there above that door, and those are usually 12 to 16 inches.
So we had a foot to 16 inches. That's got us under.
Yeah,
20.
we have What do we have? 16-foot plate height. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a Zoom function in these PowerPoints, fortunately. So I just pulled measurement from grade to top of roof on each elevation.
I mean, I'm not a contractor or an architect, but if you had a flat roof, had it built properly to have snow loading, I would think you'd be close to the 20 feet.
Oh, no, I understand that, but obviously I think you would impact the neighborhood more not being in keeping with the rest of the houses right there. I don't think there's anything that looks like that even on that street.
I didn't do a search for flat roofs, no.
My house is a flat roof. I live across the street.
Okay,
I
there,
have a southwest house,
There you go.
flat roof,
flat roof across street.
22 feet max.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else from the public that might want to add?
Okay, with no further comment, I would accept the motion.
I'm sorry, we do have CCNRs.
Yeah, the city does not enforce, so CC&Rs are enforced by an active HOA. That's the mechanism by which you can.
And/or by private suit, neighbor against
Pri-
neighbor. So
Private suit.
the CCNRs probably still exist, right? But they're contractual in nature, so it's something we don't consider at the Board of Adjustment, I guess.
No, I mean-
the determination for the city is whether or not to grant the variance, and then the property owners and the developers are going to be left with whatever consequences or decisions that the HOA has to make, and or the private neighbors in enforcing their contractual rights.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mark Hokness, I'm going to move that this request V25-008 be denied.
Do I have a second? Motion does not, your motion does not have a second, therefore. Any further motions?
Mary Frederickson, and just before I make a motion, I'll just comment that the variance requested to the front, which is from the street view, is very minimal, and the variance to the rear, which is to the applicant's backyard, essentially mirrors what the structure is from the front. I appreciate the input from the neighbor across the street. When I did the drive-by, I noted that it was a much higher elevation to the applicant's property, and I didn't see that that would be, the garage would be any more of an impedance to a view than the house that currently sits on the applicant's property. So I will move to approve variance 25-008.
Do I have a second?
Tom Davis will second.
Any further comments? Those in favor, please vote.
Aye.
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 Those opposed?
Aye.
Carries 5 approvals and one nay.
Okay.
Thank you. Also, I did not see the mayor here. Mayor Good, welcome.
Ready?
Are we?
Okay. Okay. Tammy DeWitt, Community Planner. Thank you and good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Before you is another variance request for height. This is actually 2 lots that are in the process of being combined in a platted subdivision. It is a planned area development which has reduction in setbacks and lot sizes and such. So we have two requests before you under this. So we have one for the house for a new single-family residence allow for an increase in height from the allowed 35 feet to 38 feet 10 inches for a new single-family residence. And then we have a second variance request to allow an increase in height from the allowed 20 feet to 43 feet for a new detached garage. This is in a planned area development. These thoughts, so it'll be these 4 lots, when they were platted, were designated as hillside lots. That means the grade exceeds 20%, and that was on the recorded plats that they were hillside lots. So we have other development criteria they have to adhere to as they develop. But with these lots, they are very steep. According to the engineer's report, that they go, it was a 90-something foot drop, so I'll go through it. So there are 2 lots being combined. Lots were platted long and narrow with over 52 feet of vertical relief from the front to the rear of the property, which is a pretty significant drop. The drainage easement, it used to go between the 2 lots. It is being changed to go around the house, in between the house and the garage, to go down to the lot, so it still drains where it was originally platted. So there was discussion about attaching the house and the garage, which would allow it would be one single family residence. But we still would have the height difference, the request, because of the 43 feet, because of the amount of fill they had to bring in. So because of this drainage easement and the retaining wall that's going to be required between the 2, we're processing as 2 separate structures. So the first one we're going to look at is the house request, which was 35 feet to 38 feet 10 inches. So this was from their grading permit. So we show the existing grade here, and then this is the finished grade, and then this is what they have to build the retaining wall for the finished floor. So this one didn't have as much fill being brought in, hence why the house isn't as tall. But when we saw the grading permit was before the house, way before the house and the garage, so all we saw was the grading. So we weren't able to determine that the house was going to exceed the height. So, but the house grading elevations are 14, the driveway, once they finish the finished grade, it's a 14.5% driveway slope. And as we've told you many times, what we have left in Prescott a lot of time are these very steep lots. And because of the new regulations from the fire district, they can exceed an 18% slope in their driveway. So this, with it building up, it put it at 14.5% slope driveway. It does meet all the other setbacks. And so it's in the back of the house where we see that height request. So that was for the house. Are there any questions about the house before we move forward? And as you can see here, this is from the natural grade and the amount of fill that had to be brought in to create that finished pad here. Okay. Next, we'll look at the garage request, which is an increase in height from 20 feet to 43 feet, which seems pretty excessive. But if you look at it, the elevation, the grading elevations, they had to bring in about 18 to 20 feet of fill just to create the pad. And that created a 17.12% driveway grade. And if you go back to the site plan, the garage is set back on the property and down the hill. So from a visual perspective, it may look about the same as the house or a little bit lower, but it is set back down the hill. So if we look at this, this is the house, and then this is the detached garage. So from the front of the garage, it's only about 23 feet from the finished grade. It's on the back side that we see the increase in height, but most of it is because of that fill from the natural grade. So here's the natural grade line, and then here's the finished grade, and then we have the finished floor is about right here. And then this is another side elevation that shows the natural grade line and the amount of fill that was brought in. And hence the increase. In the back, it is 29 feet, but from the front, it's 23 feet. So they have already done all the grading per their grading permit. So these are pictures of the building pads from the street and from the side and looking down on them. This is looking up to the house across the street to show that those building pads are set down lower. There were questions about these other houses. There's one under construction. These were not part of the lots that were determined that were hillside, so they weren't as steep and they didn't have to bring in any fill. This house meets the fire code requirements and didn't have to bring in any fill, and it met the height. And the other house before it was built before the new fire code requirements, but it didn't need any waivers or bring in any fill because those were a gentle slope compared to these steeper lots that were noted as hillside lots on the plat. We did review it for all our review criteria. There is a hardship that runs with the land. We do have a significant slope on these lots, and they did have to bring in significant fill to build up the building pads to meet the fire code requirements. And we have warned you guys in the past that we will be seeing a lot more of these types of applications due to the lots that we have left in the city of Prescott, or most of them are very steep lots similar to this. These lots were platted narrow and long with over 53 feet of vertical relief. And then the amount of fill that had to be brought in to bring up the pads to meet the fire code requirements. So they do have a true hardship that runs with the land. We did send mailings out to all the property owners within 300 feet, posted the property, and advertised in local paper. We did have a couple of letters from adjacent neighbors that were emailed to you. So we have two separate requests that we take consider. One is for the house from 35 feet to 3810, and one for the garage from 20 feet to 43 feet due to it's lower on the property. They had to bring in more fill to meet the the slope requirements. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm free to answer any questions you may have.
Do we have any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have a
Yes,
question for Mr. DeWitt. The move to approve deny is one motion, one case, but I presume that we can act on the two different conditions separately.
I would recommend voting on them separately, one for the house and one for the garage.
Right. So the approve or deny for B 25-009 would be two separate actions.
But I would recommend that just to keep them separate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are the owners or representatives present? So, thank you. Okay. What do we got? Hello?
Chair, Mary Frederickson, and just to the point just made, I believe all the discussion is going to be in regard to the garage as opposed to the house. Do we have any discussion that we need about the house? It's a relatively minor variance, 3 feet or so. Anybody have anything to ask about that?
Mr. Chairman, Tom Davis, I totally agree with Mr. Frederickson that we could probably deal with the house situation first, and that I don't see any real with the fire code situation, and we've had many of these recently, and we're going to have more because of the terrain we have to deal with the vacant lots today, that the house situation I would be comfortable with moving forward with right now.
I would recommend you listen to the public comment first. It's the public hearing, and then have that conversation.
Yeah, I totally agree. Excuse me, but I just want to clear for the audience that I think that's the way we're looking at it.
Okay. Do we have any questions? Okay.
The only speaker request I got was from Terry Savage.
Thank you. I guess the first and foremost point I would like to make is that the garage being a separate structure, it would match the community closer if we didn't have to attach it. It would look like a massive structure on this lot. So that's why we would like to have the variance without detaching it. So if we did attach it, we would have that 35-foot numbers to deal with. The other thing is that we are meeting the fire department code for the 18% driveway steepness. So we had to bring in a massive amount of fill to get to that. So that's about all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Do we want to break this up into?
There
Oh,
is-
oh, I'm
If you
sorry.
can fill out a comment card that's on the table back there when you signed in, and then we can get you.
While we're waiting for the public, I have a question for staff, Mr. Chairman. I drove through the neighborhood past the street, and there's a unit on the same side of the street, I believe. I think it's 1295. I wish I had my notes here. I thought I wrote it down, but I didn't. It has a attached garage that is, it looks like an RV type of garage, higher than normal. Let me put it that way. Do we have that as a comparison? Is there other comps in the neighborhood that have those types of garages?
In this neighborhood, in this platted section, we have not had any other variances because they're on sloped lots. And if you attach it to the house, you have allowed the 35-foot height is the same as a house because it's part of the house. When they're detached, then we allow the 20 feet. In this case, because of the amount of fill that was brought in, I mean, 18 to 20 feet, took away 20 feet of height that they're allowed to build even a residence on. So hence the request before you is because we measure from natural grade, which is pretty consistent with other jurisdictions with these slope type of lots. That's why the request is before you. Even if they attached it, it's still 43 feet in the back. So we'd still have to have a request for above the 35 feet because it would be 43 feet they would be asking for a residence.
Next speaker is Donna Whitmore.
Donna Whitmore from the Cliff Rose Homeowners Association. And I would like to start by asking you if you did get the information in your packet that I'm presenting. Okay, so you have the pictures and everything. Okay, thank you. I understand that the HOA, you don't enforce our rules. I understand that, and I'm not going to take up a whole bunch of your time. But what I do want to say is we shouldn't even be here yet. We never received the architectural review request. We've received no plans. We've received nothing. We've never had a chance yet to review this, much less have it come before you already asking for a variance. And that's a position that is not comfortable to be in. So as you all understand, there's really not a big problem with the house. And as the pictures I show, these are two adjacent properties, which Ms. DeWitt already kind of referenced. But if you look at the driveway and look at their driveways, they're actually sitting adjacently as low as the property that is in question. So we question not the house, but the size of the garage with 18-foot roll doors and 16-foot roll doors. There is not one other property in our 432 development that has such a large structure in it. The garage is almost bigger than the house. So the house is very comparable to what you would find in our neighborhood. The garage is not. And we would like a chance to deal with this with our rules and regulations before any sort of variance is given to this property. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We don't need to go through the homeowner association, do we?
No, you represent the city of Prescott, and your job is to decide whether or not to grant a variance. Now, the practical reality is the developer and the property owner are going to have to deal with the homeowners association if there are CC&Rs that affect this, but it's not something we necessarily get involved with.
Any further questions?
We have another speaker.
Oh,
Next speaker, Barbara Taylor.
Hi, good morning.
morning.
Okay, I live on 1291 Rain Dagger Drive on the first house down where everybody's trying to build. And I'm just opposed, basically, for my views. I bought that lot for all my panoramic views, and some of those are going to be gone, with especially the height of the detached garage. So I'm not opposing the house. I know that they want to live there, so I'm okay with that. But the garage is a little tall, and it's going to take away my views. So I'm asking that you don't approve of the garage because of my views. Thank you.
Thank you.
It looks like one more person is filling out a request card.
Okay.
Chair, while we wait for that card, I do have a question for Mr. Savage. And are you the property owner or the developer? Both, okay. Looking at, assuming they are built as you have planned right now, looking at the side of the house and the garage, visually, is the roof line of the garage on par with the roof line of the house?
It's going to be about 4 feet taller on the
Taller.
garage side.
Thank you.
But we are about 10 to 12 feet below the street, so the height is going to be, you won't see it from the street, and we won't block the neighbors across the street because they're way above us.
I appreciate that. When I did the drive-by, the neighbor across the street is significantly elevated. But speaking to the homeowner that just spoke, whose house is down the street from this proposed lot, her view, and not to say any individual's view runs the day, but nonetheless, looking from that direction, from, I believe there are 2 houses down the street from those 2 lots that you're going to be building on. When they look that way, they will see the roof line of the house, which to me the variance is minimal, and I think everybody agrees is not really at the issue, but the roof line of the detached garage, you say, is about 4 feet. So when they look at it from their angle, they will see that the garage roof line is higher than the roof line of the house. Is that?
So if you look at the plat, there are 3 lots between this property and the person that just spoke. So we're building 3 other houses in between these. She won't see this structure at all.
Once other
The
houses
other
are
3
in
houses
between?
are going to block the view, and she knew it when she bought her property. So this has nothing to do with her view. Her views are the other way.
Thank you for the answer to my question. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, before the applicant, the developer he just sat down, that I have a question. I'm looking at the front elevation of the garage. Can you bring that up, Tammy? There you go. So there's 2 garage doors, correct?
That's correct.
And it looks like an RV garage.
That's correct.
Okay. And there's a window there, so there's an RV garage, a 2-car garage, and a workspace or something like that.
That's correct.
And so at that elevation, there's 4 additional feet above the roof line of the existing or the planned house. Is that what you?
To the peak of the peak to peak. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. I just want to clarify that that's an RV garage on the left.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Thank you.
Next speaker is Ryan Savage.
Hello, thank you. I'm Ryan Savage. My comments just go back to Mrs. Taylor's house, and if we go back to the plat showing where her house is and that one that's being built right now, I mean, it's only 15 feet away from her front door, and if any of those other houses going down the line are gonna block her view 10 times more than the one that we're proposing to build. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Yeah, so on the one next to this house that's built, and I don't have a pointer, that vacant, that's where the house is being built, and there's 3 vacant lots between there it is, pointer. So here's the subject property. These 3 lots here will be built separately, and this one's already got a house being built on it.
Was there anyone else from the public, I say a hand raised, that wants to? Oh, she already spoke. All right, then that's up to you, Mr. Chair, whether you want to take additional testimony.
Ma'am, did you have something?
As far as I can see, Barbara Taylor's is the large one, and next to it is 1289 that we did go through the architectural review process and approved and didn't need. I see only 2 lots, and I don't know if this matters, but Terry Savage is the builder on the property, but not the owner. The owner is Tatum Brianna Savage Nee Soto. So I don't know if that matters. But I see only 2 other buildable lots. I see the Cosin property next to Barbara's property.
So there's a house being built here, then you have 1, 2, 3 lots.
Oh, okay. So, but I did want to, the newest one that you see in the picture that's being built did go through the ARC, didn't need a variance, and sits adjacent to the other 2 lots. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any further questions? Yes, sir.
I know it doesn't matter to you guys, but we have in the CCNRs, the declarants and their successors in interest shall, until complete of all phases of the project, retain the exclusive right without review of the Architectural Review Committee or the board, perform and complete the initial construction of improvements on each lot of the property in the manner consistent with the declarant's past construction activities through and including the date of final inspection certificate of occupancy for each lot still owned by declarants and their successors, and assigns and shall maintain control over concept and development of subsequent phases of construction. The association may not override these development rights. I just want to point that out. They keep bringing that up. So.
Thank you. With no further questions, what? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to clarify the house next to me, the 1289. They passed
Ma'am,
almost.
sorry. Just for the record, can you state your name again?
Again, okay, I'm Barbara Taylor. Thank you. Okay, so the house that they're building next door to me, they have moved it past my bedroom window. I have all my views right now. I'm not sure when Mr. Savage says that those other 3 lots, when they build on it, that view won't matter anymore. But does that mean that they're going to go as high as what they want now for the end lots, the 1279 and 1281? So are those going to be as high as that? And they're saying that's why my view won't matter anymore. Right now I have my view with the new house next to me. So it looks like everybody is building towards the edge of where the natural grade is, away from the driveway. So if they did that, I would still have my views, right? So.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Ryan Savage again. Going off of what she just said, if the fire department is requiring that 18% grade, then the grades are going to have to come up almost identical to what we did in order to meet those, because those lots are all the exact same topography as what we're up against. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I would accept a motion.
Chair Mary Frederickson, just to get the easy one out of the way first, I would move to approve variance V25009 as to the first issue, that being the variance for the house.
Miriam Haubrick, I second.
No further comment? Have a vote?
Aye.
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 Nay.
The motion carries 5 ayes and 1 nay. Do I have a motion for the second portion?
I'll go. Mary Frederickson. And I would move to approve variance V 25009 as to the second issue regarding the variance necessary for the garage as submitted.
Do I have a second? Okay. Since we didn't get a second, where do we approve one half of it?
You could take another motion if you want. I said you could take another motion if you want.
And Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
Mark Opus, I'm going to move that the second half of V25-009, I think we should call the first one A and the second one B, be denied.
Okay, do I have a second?
Tom Davis will second that.
Okay, we have a first and a second with no further comments. Those in favor signify with aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay.
Nay.
The motion denied carries 5-1. Thank you.
And for staff updates, we do have one application for next month. We'll let you know if that's going to be moving forward or not. We'll get to, as soon to you as we'll let you know as soon as we know it's moving forward. Blah blah.
Thank you, Tammy. Any further? Oh. Okay, with that, meeting's